Unpopular marketing decisions I stand on that would make other aesthetic marketers straight up panic. But first, before we get into today's video, I need you guys to understand that I am a psychology-driven marketer. I prioritize real connection. I prioritize real people. I don't care if you go viral. I don't chase trends, and I definitely don't care about any vanity metrics. I focus on client behavior, decision making, and what makes high intent patients actually buy. So if I, Cheri Cobb, was your marketing partner, this is exactly what I would tell you to stop doing. I would, one, tell you to sell less on social media. I know. But what do we do if we're not selling? How do we keep the lights on? How do we pay our staff if we're not selling? Let me answer that question for you. Social media is not for selling, not for aesthetic practices. Now, if you were selling $25 shirts or $15, $40 candles, that would be another conversation. But you're selling high ticket treatments and services. Your marketing strategy has to look completely different. Social media is there to build connections, to create conversations, to identify and relate with your ideal client. They know that you offer Botox. They know you do laser resurfacing. They know you do breast augmentations, or you're the best cosmetic dentist in your city. They know that. But the goal of social media is to build connections, is to be relatable. And how in the world are you going to be relatable if you are talking about your newest device all day long? I will never encourage you, okay? If you were my client, I would never send you any type of ideas and tell you to pull out your new CO2 laser, mount your elbow up on the top of it, and start spitting out a bunch of medical terminology that everyday people like me do not even understand. Well, I take that back. I get it because I've been in this field forever. But the normal person, the normal listening ear, they don't know anything that's coming out of your mouth. They don't know what that stuff is about. So hook them in by way of entertainment, and you lead them to your email list. You lead them to your website, because that's where clients make buying decisions. And we'll talk more about that later. Now, number 2, before and afters belong on the website. We talked about this, I believe it was in last week's video, where I told you guys how AI is changing the way that patients are finding their providers. And we talked about before and after photos. We talked about how your patients are going to start to question if this is even real or if it's AI. That's already happening. Maybe it hadn't happened to you. If it did, I would love to know. Comment below. But after a while, patients are not even going to believe the visuals. The before and after photos, those will no longer. I'm not even going to get too much in that. Go watch that last video. But bottom line, before and afters, they belong on the website in a centralized location like your gallery. And the job of social media is to push that traffic over to the gallery, because statistics show that high intent patients are more likely to buy when they're already on your website. So the goal is to get that traffic to your website. And then what we do with our clients is, because we love automation, we love systems, we love to make our life easier. So when we get a question from a potential client and they're like, hey, do you have a gallery? Hey, can you show us some of your before and after lip fillers? Then guess what? The system will automatically send them the link to the photo gallery, and boom, now the patient's there. We can see if they stay on the page for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and then we can see when they actually book the appointment. The goal, okay, this is paid information. This is information that I tell my paid clients. The goal is to get the interested lead off social media into your digital ecosystem. Okay, that's paid information. Make sure you save it for later. Action takers are money makers. Number 3, if I were your marketing partner, I would highly encourage you, I would almost force you to post less photos and more videos. Why? Because video builds connection quicker than any other type of content, any other media, audio, photo, written, whatever. Video builds the fastest connection. Number 2, simply because I just like video. I think we have the ability to be so creative in our video content, and people just love watching videos. Like when we look at the retention rates, and retention is how long someone stays on your piece of content. When we look at that, it is always higher for videos, and it's always higher on the videos where you are not pushing a Botox sale or not talking about your newest device. Now, I do want to say this. There is an exception because carousels right now are popping off. So if you have a storytelling carousel, then that's different, okay? I would highly recommend you post that versus just some static graphic of your newest device, or just some lazy before and after photo, or maybe just a lazy, and again, there's no absolutes in marketing. Fire anybody whoever tells you that there is. Everything is subjective. I'm only telling you guys based off experience, based off the data, based off what I actually see perform with our accounts. So next up, you do not need overly produced content. I'm not sure where you guys are getting this information from, but again, when I look at the data and I look at what's actually converting into booked appointments, it is not overly produced content. And let me tell y'all something real funny, real quick. So I went through 3 HD cameras, okay? 3 cameras before I realized that it wasn't even the camera. It was the lens. I needed to buy another lens. But I say all that to say, when I used to go on different content shoots to my client offices, I would always take my HD camera or my DSLR camera. And I promise you, the clips that we would shoot on our phones would always do better. When it comes to social media performance, they would always do better. Now, there is an exception, because there's always an exception. Obviously, for your website, maybe for your Google My Business posting, for any in-office flyers, there's an exception, okay? Yes, you want to hire a videographer or a photographer, but just everyday social content, it does not need to be overly produced. I also want to add this one in. So if you guys go back and look at my older YouTube videos, I'm talking scroll, keep scrolling, okay? You can see where I used to edit the hell out of my videos. I remember some videos, it would take me 2 days to edit because I was just overly editing, overly producing, overly doing all the things. And let me tell you something, guys. Simplicity sells, complexity fails. Every single time. 5. Now, this is kind of a double whammy, a double duo, a 2-for-1, if you will. And I tell y'all this all the time. I actually talked about it in a Instagram carousel I did the other day. But if your marketing is being handled by many different companies, for example, you have one company working on your website, one company sending out email campaigns, one company running your paid ads, you have a lot of inconsistency going on. And I'm pretty sure in addition to that inconsistency are some missed bookings. So again, like I said, this is a 2-for-1. Make sure everything is handled all together. That's what we do with the takeover. And that's why I only work with one practice per zip code. Because if I'm working with multiple practices per zip code, then I'm kind of competing with my own strategy. Okay, I know that's a little deep. We can save that for another video. But bottom line, what was I saying? Y'all, I literally forgot what I was saying. It's been so long since I did that. All right, y'all. So I literally had to go back, stop production, go back and listen to what I was saying. But we're back on track now. So the first part to this twofer is to make sure all of your marketing is being handled accordingly. If not being handled by the same company, then all of the companies should be cohesively working together so there is no inconsistency in your marketing, in your results, in your outcome, in your messaging. Now, the second part to this, all of the emails that go out for our clients, they are not all selling. Some of them are just mental health check-ins. How are you doing today? Could you tell me what you think about? Or maybe we're sharing a client transformation story, but we are not selling in every single email. That is the fastest way to decrease your open rate, your click-through rate, and just totally mess up your email reputation. There's no reason that you need to be selling in every single email. And if you are working with some sort of email marketing company or whatever, and you go back and you audit like your last 5 emails and they are all selling, book an appointment, schedule a consultation, fire them. I'm gonna keep saying this in this video. And number 6, and I know y'all might want to tussle for this one, but specials should be available to existing clients only. Okay, now there's a caveat. New patient special. But what about our new patient special? Yes, you can have a new patient special. Do you need to promote it on Groupon? No. Do you need to post about it on social media every single day or every week? No. There is strategy behind sales in order to protect your brand and protect your positioning. It's okay to have a new client special, because every time I talk about specials only being available to existing clients, the first thing someone says out of their mouth is, well, what about our new client special? And great, you can keep that. And if you really want to get into it, let's talk about it, Tanya. Do not, like, a new patient special should not be 50% off. It should not be 20% off. It should not be a percentage off of anything. We should add on and stack on the value. And the reason why, okay, because a new patient special is something that is targeted to patients who don't know you yet. Remember, we're protecting your positioning. And if you are starting off with discounts for new patients already, what are you really telling that patient? What are you really training them to do? Think about that for a second. If you don't really know the answer to it, go look at my Instagram. I've made a ton of videos about discount Danielles and bargain Betties. So let's run through this real quick, because I want to give you guys a recap and make sure you really understood the words that were coming out of my mouth, because I have to go somewhere when I finish this video. I feel like I'm talking fast. I feel like I'm rushing. So I want to make sure you guys really understand what I'm saying here. So number 1, sell less on social media. Keep the social in social. Before and afters, they belong on the website. There is no reason you need to be flooding your feeds with a whole bunch of before and after. Send people to the website where they can make an informed buying decision. Number 3, we're going to post more video, because video is the quickest way to connect with strangers. I know it's tempting and you want to hire that videographer, but if it's not in the budget right now, if it's not a priority right now, wait on it. Because when it comes to social media content, the world loves relatable content, things that they feel connected to. If they feel like it's too far-fetched and they feel like they can't relate or they can't connect, they're not going to convert. There's a time and place for overly produced content on your website. All of your emails don't need to sell. Remember, like I said, people love to shop. They love to spend money, but they don't necessarily want to be sold to. Not every day. You're not Groupon. You're not Amazon. You don't have to offer a special to all of your patients. It should be for existing patients only. Protect your positioning. Now, if your practice needs this level of marketing, I want to remind you guys that High Value Providers, which is my new membership, where I'll be helping aesthetic practice owners fix their positioning, their messaging, which will lead to more conversions. Hello. And guess what? Open enrollment is actually today, guys. So by the time you watch this video, open enrollment for HVP will be live and direct and ready. And if you want more details on how you can become a high value provider, all you got to do is click the link in the description box below to get more details. And I will see you guys inside of HVP. All right, bye for now.